I accidentally got into the restaurant business in my 40s. That was my midlife crisis. Most guys get a mistress or a sports car, and I joined Shaquille O'Neal selling fried chicken sandwiches as a midlife crisis. I used to work for huge CPG companies, right? I've known Luke for what, 15 years, right? It's funny. I was always known as Josh brings in the most diverse teams, like literally in every possible way. And I once had a vice president look at me and he goes, everyone gives you all this credit for diversity. Every person on your team is identical. Oh. And I said, explain. And they said, it's like you hire behind this ethos that's uniquely yours. And I said, all right, like teach me as a leader. And they said, every single person that you bring into this team, whether it doesn't matter their skin color, their gender, their background, their geography, every single one of them, if they're not interested in leaving a legacy and leaving the jersey in a better place, you're not going to put them on the team no matter what their skill set is. You're just not going to do it. And if they're not more interested in the team than themselves, you're not going to bring them on the team. You're just not going to do it. And if they're not willing to celebrate wildly loudly, almost inappropriately loudly, and then have tough meetings behind the scenes, you're not going to bring them on the team. You're not going to do it. If they're not going to be accountable to the team, you're not going to do it. Anyone that makes an excuse, you're not going to put them on the team. And I realized like that was actually my secret sauce. My secret sauce was we can take any person that had this collective ethos, this ethos of like, we win more as we, right? And I'm not interested in punching the clock. I'm interested in doing something that I'm truly proud of. It's rare that you have a year where you achieve 100% of your KPIs, right? Like there's always like the one that's you missed. 3 times in my career, my team has hit 100% of their KPIs. And by a country mile. And I believe in like stretching KPIs. And I bought every single one of them a championship hat and sweatshirt. Like we just won the Super Bowl. And then you'd see them wearing it like a proud badge because that piece of team still, the first one of these, when I was at Anheuser-Busch, I gave these out in 2014. And at least 4 times a year, I get a text message from someone from that team. Look what I wore today. Right? Because that collectivity is so huge. So for me, it's not about raising your hand. It's have you fulfilled this ethos? And I think so often we want for our career, we're like, hey, I want to be the next X, right? My career, my favorite business book was True North by Bill George. And he said, you follow your compass, not your clock. And I always just followed the directionality of, if someone in senior leadership looked at me and said, we're putting you into this role because you're going to figure this out. And I've done crazy roles that had nothing to do with what I understood, including joining the restaurant industry and Anheuser-Busch. That belief in, hey, someone else sees something in me was so vital. And that's another piece of that ethos. So, I think that's the key. It's being with people with a aligned purpose and vision.